Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Because today we are going to take a journey across the universe with the Colourpop Celestial Collection, which is currently an exclusive on Ulta.com, as well as Colourpop's website. Yes. Wait, no, it's not on Colourpop's website. Actually, as soon as you click on the product, it takes you to Ulta. Okay, it literally is an Ulta exclusive and only Ulta. Cool. So what we have here today is an eyeshadow palette, a pressed powder blush, and a luxe gloss, which I've not tried the formula for these yet. So I'm really excited to throw it down on my desk and try it on my lips. So that's going to be exciting, and I'm really excited to go ahead and jump into this collection. So if you want to see what this full collection looks like, know all the details behind it, hear the descriptions from Ulta, see the swatches for the palette, and see what the other products look like that came in the collection, then please stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. I feel like I need to start introducing like flight attendant actions. Stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Anyway, like I said before, we have a palette, a blush, and a lip gloss, a luxe gloss. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do eyes first because I'm just that way. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if this is gonna have a bunch of fallout, if it's gonna be super powdery and gross and go everywhere. So we're just gonna start with this, see how it goes, and then go from there with the other two products. Now when it comes to the eyeshadow palette, we actually had two choices. One was the She's Got Solstice eyeshadow palette, which is this one, and this was $14. The other one was the All Things Equinox palette, and it looks like that right there. To me, it looks like the main difference between the two is all that Equinox is very cool toned looking and She's Got Solstice is very warm toned. Wait, doesn't that make sense with Solstice and Equinox? Oh, so solstice is either of the two times in the year, the summer solstice and the winter solstice, when the sun reaches its highest or lowest point in the sky at noon, marked by the longest and shortest days. Then equinox is the time or date, twice each year, at which the sun crosses the celestial equator, when day and night are of equal length, about September 22nd and March 20th. Okay, so if I'm understanding that correctly, which I might not be, but if I am, that would mean that equinox should be more cool toned and solstice should be more warm toned because sun and lack of sun. I think. I don't know for sure if I know what I'm talking about. But it was $14 and it's pretty. So here's what the unit carton looks like. Has a sunburst on it, or looks like a sunburst, and says She's Got Solstice. Then on the back it shows all 9 shades. We have 3, 6, 9. Dang, it's fine. And then we flip it over again. We open it, and we have the palette itself, which is just like the unit carton. Flip it over again. Same thing, just like the unit carton. It's got a bunch of little stars behind it. It's got also that, like, I don't know, triangular dots. They look kind of like seeds or something. I'm not sure. Oh, they make circles. I see. Okay. Then it has the shade names back there, and we flip it over again, and let's see what the palette itself looks like. Should be a little plastic protector. No? Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. And there's the palette. We see her being very neutral, very wearable, very everyday type tones. Doesn't get very deep. I don't think someone with deep skin would really be able to use this. I mean, the shimmer, obviously, but I don't know how the mattes would work out. Oh my gosh. There's a gold shade in here called Super Stardust, and it looks like sunlight. It looks like when I touch it, it's gonna burn me because it's so bright. It's so bright, it's coming off onto the plastic. That's how bright it is. Now I know that $14 isn't like crazy expensive, but it seems kind of high for Colourpop 9-pan palettes, because I could have sworn the 9-pan palettes were like $8 or something. Hold on, let me see. Let me do some investigatory work here, because I'm thinking like whenever I bought the It's My Pleasure palette, which I did film a review of that video. If you'd like to see that, I will leave it linked right up here so you can check it out if you want to. But whenever I bought that, I really thought it was not $14. And when I think of all of the monochromatic palettes, are they all $14? $12. The strawberry palette was $12. Anna and Elsa were $15. That makes sense. The Soul palette was $12. The Just My Luck palette was $12. Blue Moon, $12. Okay, so all of the monochromatic palettes that they've done are $12. So maybe because this isn't monochromatic, it's $14? I just don't understand really what's justifying the extra $2 unless it's for the fact that it's an Ulta exclusive. So maybe the markup because of, I don't know. I just don't know why it's $14. I don't feel like I'm a good customer if I'm not questioning these things. Well, let's go ahead and read the description on Ulta's website and maybe they'll explain why it's $14 instead of $12. Another trip around the sun. These fresh wearable shades in the Colourpop She's Got Solstice eyeshadow palette are your perfect transition into spring and add a fun pop to your looks all year. Pressed powder shadow is highly pigmented shadow that applies evenly and feels ultra velvety and silky. This long-wearing formula contains a unique combination of softer powders which adheres easily to the eyes, gives a soft focus effect, and blends smoothly and evenly. Okay, so it says softer powders. Does that mean maybe it's a different formulation, possibly, from their typical formulas, since it's an Ulta exclusive? Maybe so. Let's see if we can find out for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in, and we're gonna get started on these 9 swatches. The first shade is the shade So Serious, but it's like Sirius XM radio, not like, why so serious? Then the shade Big Bang. The shade Quasar. The shade Nova. Then the shade Estrella. Oh, wow. That looked nothing like that in the pan. This one is definitely a Super Shock shadow, but the shade is Super Stardust. That is like tinfoil on my arm. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Then the shade Marz with a Z. Oh, that's cool. The shade Earth Angel, Earth Angel. Then last is the shade Chromosphere. And there is every shade in the Colourpop She's Got Solstice eyeshadow palette. You guys know, as always, I will insert photos of the swatches, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And here's our video close-up of all 9 shades. So this palette kind of makes me think of my little sister because it's very like light, bright, and airy, if that makes sense. Like it reminds me of a blonde teenage girl. Fair skin. I don't know why, that's just visually what I get. It just reminds me of my little sister, is honestly where it all comes from. It's probably the pinky tones that I guess it has in it, and it's probably also the green behind it that's also kind of giving me those vibes because it's making the pink pop out a little bit more. It is very muted. I personally don't really get a whole lot of excitement out of it, except for that Super Stardust shade, which is going on my eye today. It's got to. Or the Estrella shade, because it is just amazing. It looks like, well, you saw the swatch. It looks like a red or a maroon or something, but it's definitely more of a duochrome with like a bright sunshine yellow reflect, and it's gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. But that Super Shock's just kind of calling my name, so I think I have to go into it. I am going to go ahead and prime my eyes so that we can go ahead and get started on a look because I'm really excited to try this palette out and see just kind of what happens. You know, I really don't know for sure what we're going to get with this. I don't want it to be just a simple, boring look, but I don't know if I can make it any more than that. We're going to find out. Now I'm going to prime. Now for my base today, I used my Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base because I wanted a smooth, flawless lid. I could have used any other base if I didn't want a smooth, flawless lid, but today I did. So I went ahead and used that one. So I'm going to start with the Morphe R37 Fluffy Blending Brush. This is the biggest brush that I have from them. I mean, biggest eye brush I have from them. Could you imagine? I'm going to start with my Morphe M462 brush, go into the shade Nova, and start applying that in my crease. I feel like I need to film a video like that now. Using the biggest brushes I have for an eye look. So I actually am going to use my R37 brush, but I'm going to go into the shade Earth Angel as my first shade. And my base is still slightly tacky, but not very much, like just barely tacky. And I'm putting this in the outer crease area. There is no mirror in this palette, but I really didn't expect there to be one since it's one of their 9-pan palettes and it was only 14 bucks. Honestly, I don't know for sure if I have a 9-pan palette that they ever did put a mirror in. If you have one, let me know. But I don't know of one that exists unless they just do it frequently and I'm out of the loop. I think usually the only time they include mirrors in their 9-pan palettes is if it's a special edition release, like maybe the Anna and Elsa had a mirror. So far the shade's going on very nicely. It is very soft. It's not like overbearingly pigmented, but it's pigmented enough to go on and build up. It's not one of those that whenever you put the brush down on your eye, all of the pigment comes off and is way too much and you have to worry about trying to blend it all out. It's a nice, soft, buildable shade. It's a very weird tone. It's not terracotta, but it's not brown, but it's not pink, but it is pink, and it is terracotta, and it is brown. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the shade is, and that kind of makes it a little more interesting to me. You know what? I am going to fill the crease from the outside to the inside, because I think I'm going to do a spotlight eye now. This is such a beautiful shade. I could throw a shimmer on the lid, maybe my highlighter on the brow bone, and literally call it done. I mean, lashes or mascara at least, of course, as well, but this is a really pretty color. It's a nice crease tone, and I like that. But you know, as well as I know, that I can't stop here because there's still 8 other shades in this palette that I haven't touched. So I'm gonna use my Lavish Tapered Blending Brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Big Bang. Ooh, that's very powdery. Let's tap off a little bit of that excess. Oh, there's not a whole lot left on the brush anymore. Then I'm going to use this shade right on the outer edges of Earth Angel, essentially just to blend it out and to blend it into my skin tone so that I have a beautiful gradient between my skin tone into more of a soft light pink, then into this deeper maroony brown terracotta-y that I don't know what to call it. So just very softly, very gently all around the edges using little tiny circular motions, making sure I don't make any little boo-boos. Nobody likes a boo-boo. I'm trying not to go up all the way to my brow bone this time either, because I do want to try and use one of these shades on my brow bone, and I want to try to keep it where it's just my eyeshadow base on the brow bone, or at least on the highest point of the brow bone. That way there's not a whole bunch of shadow on top of the shadow that I want to put there, so it doesn't get too stacked and powdery, if that makes sense. I never really try and avoid that, and I was thinking about it the other day because I thought about the fact that I don't remember what it was, but I was using an eyeshadow palette and I could not get the brow bone highlight to be metallic and foiled looking, and I really wanted it to be. And I had used the shade before without any shadow underneath it and just on a fresh base, and it was perfect and beautiful. So I decided this time that I would try it without having powder underneath it and see if maybe that would help the situation. Now with this shade, I am kind of blowing it out a little bit more in the inner corner because I do want the inner corner to be just a tad bit lighter than everything else, or I want it to flow with everything else rather than being separated, if you will. I just really like that effect of that poppin' inner corner and that highlighted effect. And I'm really liking the pink tone that Big Bang has. Alas, the Big Bang has now happened on my inner corners and my brow bone-ish. It's probably not quite as blended as I am going to get it in the end, because as you all know, since we are the blending beauties, I'm never done blending. I will continue to blend. But until I blend more of those shades, I'm now going to go in with my Morphe M456 brush and go into the shade Chromosphere. Oh, I just love these dark, juicy shades. I feel like this is what's gonna make everything kind of come together. So this shade's just going into the crease and going right up to where the other shadow ended so that I don't go too far up to the brow bone or anything. And I'm also flattening the brush again and taking it toward the inner corner, but I'm keeping it really tight lined. I'm not blending it out or blowing it out at all. I'm just going right in here toward the inner corner, keeping it really thin, and then blending down onto the lid just a tiny bit because I want to start establishing that spotlight shape. And if you don't know, the spotlight shape is essentially what I have left on my lid. So I've gone down into the inner corner and pulled the shadow in on the lower lash line a little bit so it creates this oval shape here. Then I've done the same thing toward the outside of the crease and the lid. And then I'm going to pull the shadow in on the lower lash line on the outer edge as well. That way I have an oval on this side. So all together it makes a circle on my lid, and a circle is a spotlight. In my opinion, this is where the real difference between an amateur blend and a not so amateur blend come into play. Because I could stop right here and throw a shimmer on the lid and call it good for the crease. But now that I've added in the deepest color, the Chromosphere shade, I've obviously lost a little bit of Earth Angel and Big Bang. Well, actually Big Bang is still pretty clearly there, but Earth Angel isn't nearly as visible anymore, and it almost trumps the fact that I even added that shade, and I want it to be apparent. So I'm going to go back in with the R37 brush that I used Earth Angel on, and I'm going on the outer edges of Chromosphere where I added that in to make the spotlight crease shape, and I'm just going to re-emphasize this shade just on those outer edges to make sure I don't lose that. And this one simple step of just going back in and re-emphasizing the colors that you may have lost while blending can change the look so much for the better. It just, in my opinion, it makes the look end more polished than what it would have. Even just by doing that. That changed, wow, that changed that so much. Even just that tiny little bit of a blend. Ugh. Do you see what I mean? People always making fun of me about my 3 hours blending, but you see what that did. You know, like there's a reason. There's a reason I'm a 3-hour blender. And there's a reason you're my blending beauties. It's because we blend to perfection. That's why. I feel like I look like a solar flare because I got a little bit of flare, and baby, I'm going solar or whatever. I am so sorry that I just did that. Okay, so let's move on. Now, this is the point where I'm really excited to use all of these shimmers, and I can't use all of these shimmers on this single look. So let me re-swatch them. We have Marz, So Sirius, Estrella, and the Super Shock that I'm just gonna tap in, not swirl in, Super Stardust. So Marz, So Sirius, Estrella, Super Stardust. See, they're all so different and so beautiful in their own way. Like the green would be a beautiful contrast to this and pair so nicely with it. But the yellow is like a beautiful golden yellow, and it would be beautiful as well, and it would pair nicely with this. Which it does make sense that all the shimmers would pair nicely with it because they're all on the same palette. Then the Estrella shade is like an exact match for the whole color story, and this would be perfect for representing monochromania, but it would also give me kind of that yellow flip in there, so it would have like that reflect sort of thing. This would also be perfect, I think, on the brow bone if I didn't make the brow bone lighter, because it is kind of the same color, so it might make it a little bit darker, so I don't want to chance that. But it would be pretty either way. And then Super Stardust. This is just a beautiful, flaky, metallic gold, and it would be like the most solar flary of them all, like dramatic of them all. So Sirius with my thumb. Oh my gosh. Wow. I say wow too much, but I just can't help it. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Ooh, it's so pretty. Before I lay down the Super Stardust shade in the center, I'm gonna go back in with the Morphe M456 brush and use that to just kind of finesse these edges and make sure that it blends in and it's still in the shape of the spotlight. That's just so the shimmer doesn't get too out of hand, if that's even such a thing. Make sure that it still has that spotlighty shape and is in a circular pattern. There we go. And then Super Stardust from the pinky right onto the center. That was, I don't know, it was different than what I expected. Or maybe, oh, never mind. The reflect in it made it look like it didn't do anything except add glitter. But whenever I move my eye, I can actually see what it did. It like put a burst on the flare. If that makes any kind of sense at all. It does in my head. This is beautiful. And I am so glad that I decided to use the gold instead of the green or the red. Just the pairing, the way that Chromosphere, the darkest shade, blended in with So Sirius. Since So Sirius is sort of a yellow and Chromosphere is like a deep maroon, they of course blend into this like fiery orange shade, and it makes it, oh, it's just so cool. It does look like the sun. It resembles the sun a lot, and it's super pretty, and I really like it. Ugh. At this point, I have now built up the shadow on the crease and the lid as much as I think I'm going to. I do want to try, actually, now that I'm like thinking about it, to highlight the brow bone. I'm gonna try So Sirius on the brow bone. If that doesn't work adequately, I'll go in with Big Bang and just do the matte pink highlight like I have right now, but I'll just emphasize it a little bit more. But I really like this gold, like a lot. Like I really like the gold. So let's see how that turns out as a brow bone highlight. I hope, I'm so afraid it's gonna pull too much. Oh no, okay, that works. Oh, that's nice, because you can kinda, it doesn't have to be as metallic looking and shimmery as it is on the lid, and it can kind of be sheared out a little bit if you just apply it lightly and blend it out. So it looks more like a golden hue instead of like a bar of gold. So it's a really nice touch to the brow bone. Just kind of adds that light glint of gold right on the edge. Wow, okay. I am so happy that I tried that instead of just going with the pink. That's really pretty. It looks like a sunrise. Natasha Denona could never. I'm just kidding. Yeah, she could. She's like, girl, that is a $14 palette. Do you think I care? And there we have it. Brow bone is blended out. Guys, I just can't. I can't with this look. Ooh, it looks so good. I'm so excited. I think I might even use that as an inner corner highlight. I wasn't going to. I said I wasn't going to, but I might. Anyway, I need to go ahead and go off camera so that I can finish off my face makeup, or do my face makeup, period, and get to the point where we can use the blush and the lip gloss. So pretty much everything but my lips and blush. And we'll also finish off the lower lash line. And the inner corner, of course. So give me just a second to do all of that. Well, for you, a second. For me, like an hour. Hence why I spare you and I do it off camera. So give me that second and I will be right back. We are now back after the face makeup has been applied, except for obviously blush and any lip products. I tried a new combo of products today and I'm not really sure how I like them. I kinda don't. But that has nothing to do with this video. Let's go ahead and move on to the lower lash line so that we can finish off the mascara and get the eyes completely done and knocked out of the ballpark. Or knocked out of the hemisphere because we're working with the Solstice palette. I do really like the Earth Angel shade that's all in the crease. Just that terracotta warmth is beautiful to me. So I'm gonna use that with the Morphe M562 brush. It is a very skinny pointed blender brush. And I'm gonna go into that shade and start running that across the lower lash line, starting on the outer corner. And it's also very important to me that I continue to pull this shade from the outer edge of the lower lash line all the way out and up into the rest of the eyeshadow that goes into the crease. I hate it whenever I don't have the lower lash line meet the crease. I just feel like it makes the look uncohesive, non-cohesive. It's not cohesive to me, in my opinion, on my eye. You can do whatever you do with your own eye. Don't feel like you gotta do what I do. Then I'm just gonna blend the edge of what I cut earlier with my powder and my concealer to make sure that it doesn't look so choppy. Oh yeah, just like that. Got that applied where I want it. Now the next and last thing I'm going to do with the shadow on the lower lash line is take the same Morphe M456 brush that I used earlier in the shade Chromosphere and go back into Chromosphere just barely on the tip of the brush, and take that right on the lower lash line on the outer edge. And also bring that up and connect it into the crease. Then I'm gonna use the M562 again, just clean, or dirty. It's a clean, dirty brush. I'm not taking any more shadow. And I'm just gonna run this over lightly on everything, and that'll mesh the colors in together perfectly, make them all blend the way they should. Yes! Oh, it's so cute. Now, as always, I previously lied. You know, I'm always gonna do this because I need the inner corner highlight and I forgot about it. So I'm gonna use my Lavish pencil brush. This might be kind of risky, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And I'm gonna go into the shade Soul Sirius. And I'm gonna use this pencil brush to apply this shimmer shade right here in the inner corner. And we're gonna see how sticky she is. Wow, sticky with no fallout. I didn't even tap off the brush. I need more. Okay. That built up to almost what I want it to be. It's not as blinding. I want it to be really, really blinding. I kind of want to go into Super Stardust and see if it would go there and be super blinding, but I'm afraid that it's going to be too chunky. Whatever. Let's just try it. I'm going to use the same brush and go into Super Stardust. Put it right on top of what I just did and see if it changes anything. You know, I don't really know that it did, but I don't know that I picked anything up also. It kind of just flattened out the shade because it's so chunky. But since I don't want to have a bunch of little tiny pieces of gold foil all over my under eye now that my face makeup is done, I'm not gonna chance it, and I'm okay with it as is because it's still pretty and gold glowy. So before I finish off with mascara and some eyeliner in my waterline, I don't know which one yet, but something, let's go ahead and check out the Colourpop Pressed Powder Blush. Now this one is in the shade Meteor, right? Get it? It's like meteorite, but like meteor, right? It was $10 on Ulta's website. This one is a nude terracotta. There were 2 shades that it came in. The other one was a mid-tone pink in the name of Interstellar. The details on Ulta's website for this is brighten your complexion with Colourpop's Celestial Blush. Provides the perfect natural flush of color in a soft and buildable powder blush. Pressed Powder Blush is a rich blush that glides on smoothly and leaves cheeks with a natural and healthy flush. This formula contains silky powders that adhere to the skin, providing long wear and color that stays true all day. This soft feeling blush blends evenly and can be layered to your desired intensity. Blends evenly and can be layered to... Oh, it said that twice, sorry. Okay, so let's see what the blush looks like. So it looks like the unit carton looks exactly like the palette. It has the sunburst, I guess, on the front of it. Then on the back of it, it says Meteor, right? Then if we open it up, same exact thing. The starburst on the front, or sunburst on the front, and then Meteor, right, on the back. I don't know why I have to say it like that, but I do. Then we have a plastic protector, and there's the shade of the blush itself. My monitor has frozen, so I can't see it. This is going to be potentially too dark for me. Let's find out. Oh, I'm so scared. This looks almost like my bronzer. Okay, here we go. Got a little bit of kick up. So it looks like it's going to be pretty pigmented based on the powder that comes off of it, but let's find out. It said it was buildable. It almost looks like that eyeshadow. Like it kind of pulls the warmth from the eyeshadow and brings it down into the face. That's not bad. I just got to remember to start from back here so that I don't, you know, make it too dark too fast. Okay, that's really pretty actually. I can see that it's adding warmth and a flush exactly like it said. It's not too overpowering. Ties in with it. Oh, it's good. It's really good. If you had really light skin, I would use a very light hand and a very, very fluffy brush to make sure that you don't build this up too quickly, just to be on the safe side. But it's not like you can't go back over it with some powder and tone it down a little bit. If you do go a little too crazy, wow, it goes so perfectly with this eyeshadow. Imagine that. A blush from the same collection. It matches the eyeshadow. Revolutionary. Put a little up here, a little up here, and some on the nose and the chin. Wow, very good Colourpop, very good. Okay, now we are to lips. I never highlighted my face. Be right back. And time for the Colourpop Luxe Gloss. This is the first time I've ever tried the Luxe Gloss. Specifically, this one was $8. I got the shade Come Through, and it came in 4 shades for this collection. This one is the Warm Terracotta. Are we noticing a theme here? I got everything so that it would kind of match that neutral tone, so I could match whatever eyeshadow look I chose. Then the others were Overnight in Pale Coral, Tied Up in Cool Mauve, and Staying Up in Mid-Tone Blue Pink. Tied Up would have been perfect for the Equinox palette. And these were $8. If I didn't say that. Then the packaging, it's kind of the same thing. It just doesn't have a sunburst on the front of it. It just says Luxe Gloss. Then it's got same pattern with the website, and then sticker with ingredients and barcode. Then we open it up and we have a beautiful warm terracotta gloss. And let's see what she looks like. Since it's tinted, I'm just gonna wear it by itself. I feel like a gloss is gonna go really, really well with this look. What is that smell? It reminds me of something from my childhood. Wow, that's really, really buttery smooth. Cereal. It's a cereal. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Literally, the gloss and the word. Fruity Pebbles! That's it! It tastes like Fruity Pebbles! Oh my gosh! This is gonna have to stay in my pocket so I can use it all the time and eat it. This feels much creamier than their, what is that other gloss? It's definitely thicker and creamier than an ultra glossy lip formula because the ultra glossy lip feels much less thick and it's a little more movable, I guess. This is more like, it kind of reminds me of the smoothness of frosting, if that sounds like something you can relate to. It almost reminds me of those lip glosses they have in the tubes. What are they called? The So Juicy gloss. It's like the So Juicy gloss, but if this were about half as thick and a little more smooth and easier to manage. It's like the in-between, between Ultra Glossy Lip and So Juicy lip gloss. It feels kind of thick. Oh. I've got those little lines. Let's see if those go away if I get rid of the excess gloss. Because I put on a lot of gloss. They're going away. Okay, it is a little stringy. And I don't know for sure if that is going to go away or not. I personally don't really like that a whole lot because I don't want to be talking to someone and then see all these little strings connecting in my mouth, me looking like Jeepers Creepers over here with my mouth sewn shut or something. But I'm being a little dramatic. It's not quite that bad and I can feel it wearing away as I talk and as time passes, but it's still doing it. But we shall see if it is something that lasts or not. Other than that, I do really like it. I love the color of it. I think it does really match the look really well. And I know I'm going to use it again because I love the taste of Fruity Pebbles. I don't mind that at all. And it's a really great price for it too. So this is completely it. That's everything. This is the final look. So what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm curious as to what your opinions are, what you liked, what you didn't like. My opinions are that the eyeshadow palette, it's less basic than I thought it was when I opened it and initially looked at it. That gold Super Shock in there is to die for. And the shimmers that Colourpop has, period, in general, are all really good. From my own experience anyway. I figured I was going to enjoy the quality of the palette because I always do whenever it comes to Colourpop. And I definitely did. I got really good payoff. I really, really like the look that I got because it just looks like it's sunny. You know, it's like summery. It looks like a sunburst on each of my eyes. And I think it's really, really pretty. I like the inner corner highlight. I wish it would have been a little stronger, but I didn't wet the brush or anything. I didn't try to finagle it to make it stronger. I just used it as is and was accepting of it. And that's okay. I'm sure I could have gotten it there if I really tried. The blush is a really pretty tone. It matched the look for sure. And I think the other blush would match the other palette as well. The other blush is a little more on the pinky side. I actually think it would even work with this one as well. So I think that would just be up to your discretion and what your color choice would be. And then the gloss, I literally just got done explaining what I thought about the gloss, so there's really no point in me explaining it all over again. The point was that I really liked it. I think it feels great on the lips, despite the Jeepers Creepers sewn mouth shut stretching thing. So that's my opinions on the Colourpop Celestial Collection. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, please, it would mean the world to me if you would give me a thumbs up because it lets me know that you like my content, but it also lets YouTube know that you like my content. And they're like, oh, hey, Deb liked Chris's video, so that means that Julie is gonna like Chris's video because Deb likes Julie. So let's show Julie Chris's video. That's how likes work. And comments. Please don't forget to comment because that helps too. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.